Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rob Satcham, Feedback Coach. I'm going to talk to those of you that are doing this accounting, bookkeeping, and tax practice. If you're trying to start your own bookkeeping business, if you're trying to start your own accounting business, check out my course. We've got a course. If you go to feedbackcoach.com in the upper right-hand corner, it's all about the salesmanship and how to lead meetings and how to get people that you actually talk to conclude the fact that you're super valuable and worth a much higher monthly retainer, and it's how to build this monthly retainer style business. Today I want to talk about one of the things that, God dang it, I'll just get down to it. Everything is built on sales. Folks, what you do in your business is predicated on your ability to get people. Now, I do digital marketing. We have a sweet little website set up that we have set up for accountants, bookkeepers, and tax professionals. If you're looking to start your own firm, we are trying to bridge the gap between high-end premium websites and DIY. You know, if you just get a website tool like Squarespace, Wix, or GoDaddy or whatever, you still have to do the homework. And there's so much that we've learned after doing hundreds of websites that help you rank higher in SEO, that help you convert. We set them up so that they crank on Google ads and Facebook ads really well. So if you're looking for that, give me a call. But people always want to lean into digital marketing. Digital marketing is important, but folks, there's some things about sales that are true, and I want to hit on about 4 of them here, guys. So first off, what I want you to know is that digital marketing can only complement good in-person or good on-the-phone salesmanship. So the number one thing that you can do is to start getting better at sales. And when it comes to sales, folks, you have to learn how to ask great questions. You have to identify the problems that people have. You have to kind of figure out where they are and figure out if you can actually help make their lives better. You know, there's a book out there called Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller that I would absolute 100% go and buy. Or you can listen to it on Audible. He reads his own book, so it's really good. Again, Donald Miller, Marketing Made Simple. And this book, I'm telling you, helps. It's for marketers, but it helps you understand the framework that you should be thinking about how you write, but it also pertains to how you speak with customers, right? So if you're going to get good at sales, you have to start understanding how to connect with people and how to identify what's valuable to them. How to connect with people and how to identify what's valuable to them. Now, I'll cut to the chase. I've basically given the answers to people about what's valuable to most small business owners, okay? They don't want to pay more than their fair share in taxes. They want to do everything possible to reduce and mitigate their taxes and pay their fair share and not a penny more. They don't want to deal with this crap. That would be number 2. They just don't want to do the bookkeeping. They don't want to get in there. They want to lead their people. They want to do their craft. They want to perform their business. If they're in construction, they want to hire and retain people and do the actual work. If they're in the car business, they want to do the car business. They don't want to sit down and look into QuickBooks and reconcile books and try to implement an S-Corp and do the payroll. They don't want to do that. That's the second value prop. Number 1, fix their taxes. Number 2, do the stuff for them. And number 3, keep them compliant. They just want to make sure, hey man, am I protected? Am I going to be all right? Or am I open for all sorts of audits and trouble down the road? I think that those are 3 major primary value propositions that all of these people have. The IRS is scary. Accounting is obnoxious. It's numbers. These guys care about their sales. They care about their profits, but they don't always necessarily have the ability to jump in and do it. So again, when you're thinking about sales, first start thinking about what's valuable to them. Now, the second thing that you got to do is you got to start asking, how do you find that out? How do you get them to tell you what's valuable to them? So you have to perfect some amazing questions, right? And whenever you're engaging with people, so let's just assume that you're on the phone with somebody. Let's assume that you get the chance to actually talk to somebody. And that's why I want to talk about this, because I get really tired of driving leads for people or helping them get digital marketing down or help get people to their websites, but they're unable to actually convey or connect or earn trust, but to convey their value proposition and uncover what's valuable to that person. So what I'm going to tell you right now is something that you should do in video. It's something that should be on your website. It's something you should perfect in writing. It should be something that you perfect on the phone. So let's just talk a little bit about this, right? So you have to think about what they're scared of, right? And the thing that most of these guys are scared of is at the year end, they just want to get this stuff taken care of. They don't want to get ripped off. They don't want to pay more taxes than possible. But in the back of your mind, if you're doing this model that focuses on proactive tax planning, that's what this is about. The really 2 biggest value props are helping them save in taxes and feel confident about building wealth And then the second thing is making sure that they don't have to deal with this stuff. So many of you are calling me and say, hey, I want to start a bookkeeping business. Bookkeeping is the commoditized version of this stuff, guys, and you are in a race to zero. I can go to QuickBooks Online right now and sign up for bookkeeping for like $50 a month. If you're going to be in the bookkeeping game, man, you are not going to be very valuable. But if you're going to be in the proactive tax planning and services, helping them focus on their business, creating amazing, that's going to be value, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to stop and think about what are the things that you should be itching to do for these clients, right? And I tell you what, the foundation of almost all great tax planning in this first bucket, there's a couple of things that'll hit really hard. And you're going to hear this over and over again, okay? You need to be anxious and excited about this idea that if you find somebody that's an LLC or a Schedule C or a partnership and they haven't explored an S-Corp, there's a possibility if they're making $130,000 a year, $200,000, something like that, you might be able to put, $4,000 to $12,000 of taxes back in their pocket. That's a big deal. You got to get excited about that. So the first thing to get good at sales and to get good at copywriting for your website and to get good on the phone is for you to get kind of itching to find out, hey man, I really want to find out, are you maximizing this S-Corp thing? Because if you can help them maximize the S-Corp thing, where you can really do proactive planning and help them take the reasonable wage, get them implemented as an S-Corp, and you can show them how much you'll save them, boy, you're going to change their lives. You're going to change their financial future. In fact, if you don't believe me, here's how valuable this is. Imagine you put 10 grand back, 4 grand, 5 grand back in their pocket. Now they get to pay for your services, maybe $4,000 or $300 a month, $3,600, maybe $500 a month, $15. Like it helps pay for you. Or maybe you just do a tax plan for $4,000 or $5,000. You show them how to implement this, and they end up becoming an S-Corp. Now they're saving, $500 a month. They're saving $6 grand a year, $4 grand a year, and they take that money and then they use it in an individual 401k from Vanguard or Schwab, or maybe they dump it into a SEP IRA or a simple IRA. And so now they're taking like all the money that they're saving that would have went to the IRS, and now they're going to invest it and get compounding interest. And I think just putting people in target date retirement funds or S&P 500 index funds at Vanguard, using the individual K or a SEP IRA, and then using the employer contribution side of that will absolutely dominate their financial future. You're going to go from them paying an extra $6 grand a year in taxes to all of a sudden them having like a close to $1 million 401k 35 years later if they're young. Obviously compounding interest takes off over time, and those last years 25 to 40 really make compounding interest huge. So I'm telling you folks, if you can find those tax savings, and then remember the first value price, so you got to be itching, man, are they doing this? Are they maximizing this S-Corp? And if you're itching to find out that S-Corp, you don't go out and just like a little kid just spill all your beans right away. You don't want to just go and be like, you should be an S-Corp, right? But you got to kind of work at it. So tell me, so there's some questions you want to ask. How confident are you that you're maximizing your tax reduction strategies, right? How confident are you that you are doing everything possible to reduce your taxes? Or you can ask questions, and these can be on your website, right? This is what we specialize in. I can do this in my sleep, man. So you call us. We have like a basic website. We have website with copywriting. We have copywriting with building Google ads. Man, we have a package that you make the investment up front in us. It's way better than CPA Site Solutions. It's way better than everybody else. We will help you do this. So you don't have to worry about this. If you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, but you gotta make some investment, right? This will be between $750 and $2,500, depending on how much you have us do, right? And but if you just stop and think, ask somebody, so when was the last time your tax guy came to you with proactive tax planning? I guarantee you it's not happening. You know how I know that? Because around here in the Minneapolis, in fact, I'm just driving by my old office. I'm on my way to a client shoot right now. We do video too. And I know because we used to do tax analysis, which that's what you got to be driving towards. But we would do tax analysis on hundreds of businesses. And when we peered in, you'd start finding out that these guys aren't doing anything for their clients. They're doing the tax returns at the end of the year. And that's it, man. There is no value addition whatsoever. And what's happening there is that they're just doing tax returns at the end of the year. So during the time, so two things happen there. If you're just doing year-end taxes for your business clients, like most CPAs are, and I guarantee you, as you start peering in, what I'm talking about is not adopted across the United States. Most young people, or most baby boomers, or most like Gen X CPA or accountant or tax firms are not doing this. They're cramming in as many tax returns at the year end that they possibly can. And basically their revenue model is about tax returns. And the two terrible things is, one, you're just a historian. All you're doing is saying what happened in the year previous. You haven't become an S Corp. You haven't allowed them to make investments in vehicles or machinery or equipment, or really to set their depreciation schedules really well. That proactive tax plan in quarter 3, quarter 4, that's what's really going to set you up for success through the year. You need to be itching. Hey, do they have that? So ask these questions. Hey, I got a question. And don't do a gotcha. But these questions, when was the last time you got a really good tax idea from your tax planner? The answer is probably not. When was the last time that you sat back and had a report sent to you about how well things are going or where you're at? Another thing so you need to be itching to find out S Corp stuff, itching to find out what's that relationship with the tax person, because in any good sale, you kind of have to have an enemy, and you don't want to be negative. You don't want to nag about this. You don't want to come across as a negative. The negativity is a little bit like salt, and all the benefits that they get with you is a little bit like the sugar and the flour in a cookie, right? If you don't have a little bit of salt, the whole recipe just doesn't quite work. But with a little bit of salt, with a little bite to your sale, with just a little bit of what the enemy is, and I don't mean like a political enemy or anything like that, but just the bad guy to a business owner, or kind of the villain is this innocent tax firm that's just doing their taxes, or the DIY guy that's just simply doing his own taxes, right? So you need to be laying into your websites, laying into your conversations and sales, but also creating video to put on your website, to put on your social media that talks about, hey guys, I just got a question for you. When was the last time you had a meeting in the middle of the year on the phone with your tax guy, and he came to you with like 3 or 4 good tax planning ideas or wealth building ideas that'll reduce your taxes? And then be like, that's what I'm all about. So the way you kind of frame this up as that you are not, or that they're the enemy, but without making them really a bad guy, and by you remaining positive, the way you can do that is to say, I'm not your typical accountant. I'm not the typical guy. I'm not the typical gal. I'm not the typical CPA and accountant. And if you're an enrolled agent or not a CPA, you can say, I'm not your typical CPA firm, and I'm not your typical accountant. Rather than doing year-end taxes, I specialize in doing proactive year-round tax planning, and I just handle all the stuff for you. I'll tell you about how I handle all the stuff for you, but how confident are you that you're getting good proactive tax planning? And then you have to be ready to give quick pitches, okay? So the quick pitches whenever you're in a sale or whenever you're talking or engaging with somebody, it needs to be like 70% questions, 30% little bursts of presentations, okay? Now I'm going like crazy here because I just want to fill as much value as I possibly can. If you're ever on the phone with somebody, or if you're creating, or if you're on the phone or you're in email back and forth, 70% questions, 30% short presentations that end in deeper questions and deeper knowledge and getting to know them, or if it's common ground. You always want to be moving the ball down the field professionally, but also connecting. You want to do both of those things, connecting personally, moving the ball down the field professionally, those two things. But I'm telling you, one of the things that you've got to do is ask them, so tell me about your business. How did you get started? What's your family life look like? What's your lack of family life? Dive deep into what they know and what their life looks like, what their business looks like, who they are as a person. Get to understand what their day-to-day looks like, because what that does is it uncovers what's valuable to them. And if you don't do that, you can't get to this tax planning thing. You can't get to this. And you might meet people that are like, I don't really care that much about this and that. I just don't want to deal with this crap. That's good that you do that. I'll rest assured. But I just write checks and like want to lead my business. You might find that most of the guys where all the opportunity is in small business. And I think that'll help. So I guess what I'm getting at is, I probably start out by saying there's 4 or 5 things. This is not going to happen here. My main point here is that you have to ask great questions, and you have to start out by so tell me about your business. What have you been up to? How'd you get here? What do you guys specialize in? What are your services? What does that look like? How much money are you making? How much money do you make per sale? What's the opportunity there? By the time you're done, you should have enough information to actually hand over to like a marketing company like me, or you should know them so well that you could kind of do a little presentation. Now, you don't want to waste their time, right? So keep the ball moving while you're asking these questions. But what you want to get to is to uncover what's that relationship look like with that CPA or that financial advisor or that tax person or that accountant or them doing it themselves. And what you want to do is you're trying to drive towards a tax analysis, but you're trying to highlight how confident are they? What have you been doing? What does your CPA do to make sure that you're maximizing an S Corp or maximizing maybe a SEP IRA, a simple IRA, or are you doing everything you can in your real estate? You know how many times, guys, we find out that an LLC owned a building and their S Corp was renting from it and they weren't doing depreciation or cost segregations? Like, there's so many opportunities that you can find in there. So folks, if you're starting these accountant things, you got to get really good at those questions. Check out my course right now. Right now I've got it at $500. It's been plugging along really well. And it's really meant to be like a mastery course in how to present and how to engage with people. And this is meant to help. But if you need help conveying these on your website or conveying them through social media and getting great advertising that hooks with this kind of language, because I know it works, I've done it, then give us a call. Between $750 and $2,500, we can get you set up if you're small or if you're medium or if you're large. And then we have some of the coolest tools to show all your reviews, to gather testimonials, and then to have great landing pages for ads in the future. And we'll set you up so that you can maximize the Google ads, Facebook ads, and LinkedIn ads, and use their machine learning by setting up the conversion actions perfectly in Google Tag Manager, hooking you up to Google Analytics, and helping you get the best out of your business. And no matter what, folks, it's all about sales, but sales is all about connecting with people and understanding what's valuable to them. And again, you got to do this 70-30, 70% asking questions, getting them to talk, 30% short presentations, and you want to be highlighting what's most valuable to you. What's the relationship with your current tax situation or person or system look like? How confident are they're doing everything to maximize their taxes? And you can just find out inefficiencies. They're probably doing a bunch of screwing around through all this, so you can help them. Good luck. God bless.